Hey everyone, welcome to SA Daily Insight, the channel where we cut through the noise, dig into the untold truths, and give you the bigger picture of South Africa's most pressing stories. My name is Peter, and today, family, we have to talk about something that feels like a script from a political thriller. Except this is not a movie. It's our reality. It's raw, it's shocking, and it's happening right before our eyes. What I'm about to unpack connects powerful testimonies, painful truths, and a mysterious death that has left an entire nation searching for answers. And I can tell you this. By the end of this video, you'll see how one man's life, his choices, and his sudden passing have raised questions that South Africa cannot afford to ignore. So sit with me for a moment, because this is going to be a ride. 2 weeks ago, before news of Nathi Mthethwa's death shook the country, the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry was already setting the stage for revelations that cut deep into the soul of our policing and political systems. On that stage, Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi stood under oath, looked across the room, and delivered testimony that still echoes today. He didn't sugarcoat, he didn't hold back. He accused Nathi Mthethwa, yes, the very same man who later died in Paris, of political interference of the worst kind. And when I say the worst, I mean those were Mkhwanazi's exact words. The worst I ever experienced.
Julie must be charged. She wants to withdraw that letter. So when I asked her, but why you want to withdraw the letter of a criminal case? You've read the case and you wrote to me and you say, Julie must go and face the music. Why do you want to withdraw it? And she said, no. It's my career now in line. So I need to withdraw that. I made a wrong decision. I should not have said Nhlanhla must be charged, which means she touched the wrong people in the higher echelon of maybe within the police structures or in government that did not want Nhlanhla to be charged. And I refused to come back and withdraw the letter. And then I received a phone call from the Minister of Police, Nathi Mthethwa, commissioners. I went to his residence in Waterkloof. And when I arrived there, the Inspector General is sitting on one side of the table, Mr. Mthethwa is sitting on the other side of the table. The minister says to me that I forced the Inspector General of Intelligence to write the letter that says, Mkhwebi is wrong, this matter must go to court. She said, I forced her. Then I told her, I said, no, Minister, Advocate Khateb is an old woman. She's an advocate. How can I point a gun at her and force her to write a letter? Besides, when this letter was written in her office, and she actually is not the author of the letter. The author of the letter is Advocate J. Govender, who is an experienced prosecutor person who's working in that office. She's the one that drafted the letter, not you, not the Inspector General of Intelligence. The minister didn't want to hear any of that. A simple say, must stop prosecuting Nhlanhla, or must stop disciplinary case against Nhlanhla. Now, if we talk about political interference, that was the worst I've ever experienced. At that time, Commissioner, I come from the specialized operation. The only thing I know is to chase criminals. And I'm promoted to become the acting National Commissioner, and I'm confronted with this in front of me. And I said, but this is not what I signed for when I joined the police. This can't be right. The minister can't give me these instructions. Then I said to the minister, maybe you brought me into this position and you thought you were going to use me as a pawn because perhaps of my age or whatever, but you are wrong. I'm not going to do that.
Now let that sink in for a second. When a top cop, a man who has spent years in uniform, says that about a minister who held the police portfolio, it's not something you dismiss as gossip or political mudslinging. This was about power colliding with justice, about politics bending the arm of law enforcement, and about how decisions made behind closed doors can alter the course of justice for years to come. Let's go back to 2011, the moment at the heart of Mkhwanazi's testimony. At that time, Nathi Mthethwa was the Minister of Police, while Mkhwanazi himself was the acting National Police Commissioner. It was a turbulent time. Crime intelligence was under a microscope. Richard Madlanga, the head of crime intelligence, was facing allegations of misusing the slush fund, abusing his power, and being involved in acts that should have landed him in front of a court. For many South Africans, that period was one of the first times they saw just how deep the rot in crime intelligence could go. The public was outraged, the media was digging, and internally, there were those who wanted to see justice prevail. But according to Mkhwanazi, When he tried to push for accountability, he hit a wall, and that wall was none other than Minister Nathi Mthethwa. He testified that Mthethwa accused him of forcing Advocate Faith Kadeba, who was the Inspector General of Intelligence at the time, to write a letter to the NPA demanding that criminal action be taken against Richard Mdluli. Think about that. Instead of applauding an attempt to hold someone accountable, Mthethwa allegedly shut it down. And not just shut it down politely. According to Mkhwanazi, when he tried to argue, Mthethwa simply told him to stop. Stop the prosecutions. Stop the disciplinary case. Stop everything. And Mkhwanazi didn't mince his words. He said this was the worst political interference he had ever experienced. Not just interference, but interference that left him so shaken, so undermined, that shortly after that meeting, he stepped down as acting police commissioner. Now, imagine the weight of that. A man chosen to lead, suddenly resigning because he felt politics had strangled the justice system to a point where he could no longer do his job. This is where our story starts. This is the foundation of the cracks in the wall. Fast forward to now, and news breaks that Nathi Mthethwa, no longer a minister but serving as South Africa's ambassador to France, is found dead in Paris. The details are chilling. He apparently fell from the 22nd floor of a hotel. A fall so severe, so final, that the first headlines read like a nightmare. And with that, South Africa was thrown into confusion. Was this an accident? Was it something more? Was it connected in any way to the shadows of his past? Or is it one of those cruel twists of fate that no one can truly explain? The family, understandably, is not satisfied with speculation. They want answers, and they want them fast. His brother, Khulekani Mthethwa, has been clear. The family needs the formal report from authorities to bring them closure. Closure is a heavy word here, because what closure looks like in a situation like this is almost impossible to define. But it's the only thing they can hold on to right now as they prepare for traditional rituals and the painful process of repatriating his body from France back to South Africa. Let's pause here and talk about the family, because behind the headlines and the political scandals, there are people grieving. His wife, Philisiwe, was in Paris when this all happened. She was alone, and according to reports, she even received a text message from him before the tragedy unfolded. Imagine that. 1 minute you're waiting for your husband to walk through the door, and the next you're calling the police, processing a reality too dark to comprehend. She's described as deeply traumatized, and how could she not be? When someone spends every day with their partner, and then suddenly that partner is gone in the most shocking way, the void left behind is unimaginable. The family back home is also trying to process it all. They're asking questions. They're struggling with grief. And they're holding on to faith that the investigations will fill in the missing pieces. And yet, even with investigations underway, it's not that simple. The body cannot be released until the autopsy is complete. The logistics of bringing him back, the traditional rituals that need to be performed, the mourning that feels incomplete until the body is home, all of that is on hold. And so, the family waits. They wait in pain. They wait in uncertainty. They wait while trying to accept condolences from leaders and citizens alike. They've been visited by mourners in South Africa. They've received messages from the president, the deputy president, the Minister of International Relations, ANC leaders, bishops, and clergy. Everyone is saying the right things, but no one can fill the hole left behind by unanswered questions. Now let's step back and connect the dots. On one side, we have Mkhwanazi's testimony at the Madlanga Commission, where he accused Mthethwa of interfering in policing, specifically to shield Richard Mdluli. On the other side, we have the sudden, shocking death of Mthethwa in Paris. The timing, the symbolism, the unfinished business of truth, all of this creates a storm of speculation. And while I want to be very clear that speculation is not fact, I also know that South Africans are not naive. We've seen enough over the years to know that when powerful people are implicated in dark things, their stories rarely end in neat, clean lines. This is where the story becomes layered. Because we're not just talking about a man's death. We're talking about the legacy of political interference, the cost of silencing justice, and the ripple effects of choices made behind closed doors. Mkhwanazi's words still hang in the air. the worst political interference I ever experienced. And now, the man he accused is gone, under circumstances that no one can fully explain yet. If that doesn't raise questions, I don't know what will. But here's the part that I want you to reflect on with me. South Africa has been here before. How many times have we seen leaders caught in scandal, only for the truth to get lost in the noise? How many times have families been left with more questions than answers? And how many times have ordinary South Africans paid the price for the decisions made by those in power? This is why stories like this matter. Because they are not just about one man or one family. They are about a system, a pattern, a country grappling with accountability. The family has made it clear. They want answers. They want clarity. And they are not ready to accept what investigators have said so far. That in itself speaks volumes. When the people closest to the tragedy cannot find peace with the explanations given, it means the story is not over. It means the book has more chapters. And we, as South Africans, have to keep asking, keep watching, keep holding the powerful to account, even when they are no longer here to answer for themselves. As I bring this to a close, I want to leave you with this thought. The story of Nathi Mthethwa is one of power, controversy, and tragedy. From his days as Minister of Police, accused of shielding those who should have faced justice, to his final days as ambassador in Paris, ending in a fall from a hotel window that still makes no sense. It's a reminder that in South Africa, truth is often stranger than fiction. But it's also a reminder that truth matters. For the family seeking closure, for the citizens seeking justice, and for the country seeking healing, truth is the only thing that can set us free. So, family, stay engaged. Don't let this story slip through the cracks. Ask the questions, demand the answers. Thank you for spending this time with me here on SA Daily Insight. My name is Peter, and as always, I appreciate you being part of this community where we unpack the stories others would rather leave in the shadows. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and never stop searching for the truth. Goodbye for now.